I never thought too much about turtle anatomy as a child. Hell, I don't even think in my adult life I've thought about it more than maybe a handful of times. However, about 2 years ago, I was at Sequest. It's kind of like a small aquarium at the mall. And they had this tortoise there, and I was petting it. And I was just like, this is silly. And so I asked the lady, I said, can you feel this? And she was like, yes. And in that moment, this epiphany hit me. The turtle is the shell. Oh, were you expecting a drum roll there? I'm sorry if I disappointed you, but I wanted to get into this video today. Recently, Photoshop Beta has added the, the Nano Banana. I can't believe I forgot that word. Like, I've said it so many times in the last few days and heard it so many times in the last few days that it doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point of all this is that I found something that I really like using this new AI model for. And I do want to say just briefly that I do understand that there are repercussions to using AI and it requires a lot of energy to be, but I think about my power supply on my computer, and that's like 1,000-watt power supply. It's not on drawing 1,000 at all times, but it's always drawing something. So I kind of equate it to that, and I'm sure this is something that we're going to have to work on. Hopefully people don't get overboard and don't worry about this aspect of it. But all things considered, today I want to show you some of the fun little features that I found when I was messing around with this new Nano Banana. The what is it? I can never remember the name of that. The 2.5. It's oh boy, it doesn't matter. Not very important. Okay, so all I've done so far to this drawing that I did back in 2020 during the pandemic, I did the Inktober. It was the only time I've ever done it. I wish I had the time to do it. I enjoy doing it. Only thing I've done is adjusted the levels and the curves on this. Other than that, this is pretty much the raw photo that I brought in. Now, okay, so here we go. Phase 1. What I asked it to do first was just to color this image, and these were the results. Oh, no, I did ask it to add a little bit to the background too, using the existing art style. That blows my mind. Now, the funny thing here is that it couldn't figure out what the dwarf's stomach is. I don't know if it thought it was like a shirt underneath, and I don't know why it left a little hole here for the regular color. So I think what I did on the next prompt was I tried to correct that, and I did, and that was fine. It would have been funnier to have a very furry, fuzzy, stomach, especially on a dwarf, but that's not the point here. I think that's it. That's as far as I went with this one. But I wanted to show you a few that I'd been working on yesterday that they really blew my mind, going from, and we're going to do an example here at the end too. I'm not going to just leave you guys without showing you. Okay, I apparently did not save the PSD for this file, which isn't a big deal, but I have all 3 examples of this one as well. This is another ink drawing. Leave his butt alone. I didn't get that far. I planned to do the backside later on. Never got back to it. It's just one of those drawings where it was the highlighting of the veins that I wanted to really see what it looked like. And I was kind of playing with muscles, learning muscles. Doesn't really matter. So I asked it to color this one. And this one, this is all I asked for it to do. So here is the colored version. It knew it was Wolverine. That's what just blew my mind, was the fact that it knew what colors to use based on the shape and appearance, and I guess maybe just knowing that the drawing looked like Wolverine was enough for it to do that. But it really shocked me that it was this accurate and very close to my original art. There are little bits and pieces that I noticed that have changed, but I'm not disappointed in those changes. I love that there's, let's take a look here. Let's go back to the other one for a second. So there is no glove on the other arm, or either arm for that matter. So it added that. And this shoulder piece was originally just skin, but I mean, the fact that it added the blue is fine. I think it's a little bit more accurate that way, to be completely honest. And then finally, I asked it to add a winter mountain background with using the existing art style. And there it was. And I was just blown away at the fact that something that would have taken me days, if not weeks, to finish, or possibly not finish at all in this case. Like, that drawing's been around for so long. This really inspired me to kind of want to do a side-by-side and do a finished product. product of maybe just trying to copy what's here as a drawing. This was another one too where Wolverine, I'd already colored him. I just never added a background. This was an Inktober one. And I really like the way this came out. Like, once again, I think it's all in the wording. You're going to have to learn how to really teach the AI as we're doing, and as it's learning as it goes, it's getting smarter and smarter. The fact that you can just bring in any picture. Let me grab a picture. I'm not going to grab my wedding picture because my wife would not appreciate that. So let's start with this. This is Henry, our new cat. So all I do is hit Control-A, go down to my generative text box down here, and this is where you change your models. This took me forever to figure out how to actually do it, so if you're looking for it, that's where you go in to change it. And all I'm going to do is add a cute little puppy next to the kitten. And while shadows included, everything is just, it blows my mind, like how like it just looks like it's there. The accuracy of the fur and the eyes, the nose. I mean, I'm sure if I zoom in, we're going to see texture on the nose and whiskers. And I'm not saying it's perfect. There's definitely, you know, some issues with AI. It's still getting better and smarter and more dangerous and scary in some aspects, but the fact that like I can retouch things, or like for example, my wife really wanted to do brown suits with pink ties for our wedding, and I was just so set on having a traditional black suit that like I decided I want to see what it looked like, so I went in and I brought it in, and just like that, like boom, it did it. Like, I mean, it's 10 seconds. That's the only complaint I have so far, which is ridiculous that 10 seconds is too long for me, but I want this process to work a little bit faster so that I can get things done a little bit quicker. Last week, I was working on another YouTube channel. I'm not going to talk too much about that right now, but I needed a logo for something called The World of Athalia. So this, I really liked this one. It's not the one I went with, but I like the colors, the elements of it. It's really bold, but it was a little video gamey. So I kept looking, and then I had my old logo from Making Friends with Monsters. I just put that, and I just told it to change the words, and that's what I got from there. And as I was going along, there's quite a few of them that I really liked a lot. This was really nice. Some of these I just saved because I like certain elements, like this one. Okay, so here we're getting to the actual final one that I decided, and I did see one more picture or two more I want to share, three more I want to share with you before you go. It came down to this, and I wanted something a little bit darker, so I asked it to take the same elements of this one and just make it a little darker. That's where it brought me to here, and finally I tweaked it a little bit, not a little bit, to the full extent, and ended up just adding these crystals, and I like the way the light falls on the words representing the different crystals, which will come into effect later on in my next campaign in my Dungeons & Dragons game. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to show you a few things. This is Raphael, the Ninja Turtle. I didn't have a background, so I just asked it to add, you know where I'm going here. It's a dark night in a large city, and he's in an alley, and it's a dramatic angle. So it took my art and just added the background. These are just a little fun. I don't have the original examples, but you can kind of see this did an okay job to colorize this in my old band Lunch Meat Circus. If you ever want to check out, there was a reunion of sorts where we listened to some of the songs and took questions and so on and so forth. It's back there if you want to check it out. And then this other one, this blew my mind because this is pretty accurate except for Gary's shirt. Which was actually my shirt. The motherfucker stole it. Much more colorful, a lot of color in it. And my shirt was silver, but I mean, how do you really represent that? Shorts were purple, but they were a little bit grayer than that. Anyway, I really dug that one. And this one, oh God, I wish I could show you the original, but just imagine this without a background, in black and white. Now, I did add certain elements, obviously the main character and the foliage that's falling down, and I asked it to color it because it was just black and white. And this is the one that really just blew me away. I love the way it came out. And I think with the exception of the hair being like a red hair, I probably would have done like a brown hair most likely because every picture I draw is just me. But I love the coloring that did to the leaves and the shadows it added and just all the cool little elements. And I love that it didn't overdo the background too. It's just a nice, simple background just to give it a little bit of depth. And of course, I'm not super excited about taking my art and just adding stuff to it. Like, I wish I had the time. I wish I had the patience. I wish I had the hours in the day that I could, sit here and create art, but I don't. It's one of the reasons why I haven't been making a lot of videos lately. It's generally been the D&D stuff, as you've seen. But as those Oreos come out, I will be here. Anyway, this is new, the new Nano Banana, which is, oh God, now I'll be able to, Gemini. For the love of God, I couldn't remember the word Gemini to save my life. But with that, I'm going to let you guys go. If you guys have any questions or you want me to do more of this, let me know in the comments below. I am going to be doing a live stream sometime, one of these weekends coming up. I want to see how it works out for the channel. We're going to be taking on Dungeon Alchemist, so we'll build something together that night. I'll let you know as soon as I know. I'll make an announcement or something like that. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you're loving the content I'm creating as much as I love creating the content that you guys are watching, would you please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button, maybe drop a comment in the comments below. Thank you guys. I love you guys to death. Take care of each other out there. Be nice, and I'll catch you guys a little bit further on down the road. Take care, my friends, and happy adventuring.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.